So now these examples say find the missing angle. Remember, we are using triangle sum theorem. So take a minute to try to do these on your own and then come back and we will discuss. So in the first one, we have a 60 and a 60. And so 60 plus 60 is 120. Triangle sum theorem says that the sum of the angles is, I don't want to write that and confuse you. The sum of the angles is 180 degrees. So 60 plus 60 is 120. 180 minus 120 would be 60. So this would be 60 degrees. Okay. So here we have a 64 plus a 52. And so that's going to be 116. And so then we need to do 80 minus 116. It's going to be 64. So this angle would be 64. Okay. And then in the last one, we have a 40. Let's change that color. We have a 47 plus a 38. It's going to be 5, 85. And then 180 minus 85 will give us 95. So this would be 95 degrees. Okay. All right. Next. The exterior angle theorem says that the measure of an exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the measures of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So in this case, my exterior angle is here at 1. Okay. So the measure of this angle is going to be equal to the measure of angle A plus the measure of angle B, because it says the two non-adjacent interior angles. So non-adjacent meaning not touching, and interior inside the triangle. So which two angles are inside of the triangle and not touching angle 1? That's going to be A and B. So if I add A and B, it's going to be the same as angle 1. So let's test that out, put it to use. Okay, so it says find the measure of JKM. So this is the angle that we're trying to find the measure of, right? Well, it's an exterior angle. So we can say that the measure of angle JKM is equal to, based on the exterior angle theorem, the measure of angle J plus the measure of angle L. So this angle and this angle. All right. So angle JKM is equal to 2x minus 5. Angle J is equal to x. And then angle L is equal to 70. So I'm going to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So negative 5. X is equal to 70. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So x is 75. 75, not 70. All right. So if x is 75, that means that this angle is 75. And so I could do 70 plus 75 to get 145, which would be the measure of angle JKM. That's one option. Or my other option would be to fill in the measure of angle JKM is equal to 2x minus 5. So I could do 2 times 75 minus 5. 2 times 75 would be 150, and 150 minus 5 would be 145. So the measure of angle JKM is 145. So I did it 2 different ways and got the same answer. Okay. And so one thing you also want to note at the bottom of this page, it says a corollary to a theorem is a statement that can be proved easily using the theorem. So you have to use the theorem in order to prove its corollary. And the corollary for the triangle sum theorem is what we're going to see in just a few minutes after we do this next example. All right, so this one says find the measure of each angle, and what I'd really like for you to do is I'd like for you to try this one on your own. So draw the picture, label the angles, try to come up with the measure of all 8 angles, and then when you come back, I will show you how to get it. So please try this one on your own. I love these kind of problems because I love trying to figure out what the measure of the different angles are. So try this one on your own. Okay, let's do this. So let's start with what we know. We know that this is a 40-degree angle. Oh, let me get to a pen. We know this is a 40-degree angle here. This, you can barely see it. It's pretty small, but this is a right angle. So that means that this is 90 degrees. So that means that this angle would have to be 50. Because if angle 1 is 50, then that will make this triangle over here 180. So if angle 1 is 50, then we know angle 3 is also 50 because those are vertical angles. If angle 1 is 50, we know angle 2 is 130 degrees because those make a linear pair. If angle 2 is 130, then angle 4 is 130 because those are vertical angles and vertical angles are congruent. If angle 3 is 50, again, we can see that this angle is 90. So that means that angle 5 would have to be 40 so that that triangle would be 180 degrees. If this angle is 90, then that means that angle 7 is also 90 because they form a linear pair. And then in order to get number 6, then we know a couple different ways to get number 6. We can look and say if angle 5 is 40, then angle 6 has to be 140 because they make a linear pair. It's also the exterior angle, so 50 plus 90 would be 140. And then our last angle is lone angle over here, number 8. If this angle is 140, then 8 is also, if this angle is 40, then 8 is 140 because they are a linear pair. Or we can also look at 90 plus 50 because it's the exterior angle. And then all of these should have degree symbols because angles are measured in degrees for now. And there you have it. This one was pretty straightforward. So let's keep going. Not really sure. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the corollary to the triangle sum theorem says that. So the corollary to the triangle sum theorem says that the acute angles of a right triangle are complementary. So if angle C is 90 degrees, then the measure of angle A plus the measure of B has to be 90 degrees. And that's so that we can end up having a triangle that is 180 degrees. So it's a corollary because you have to use what's given in the proof. The fact that triangles, the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees in order to show what the corollary is. And this is your card number 44. So, last example, find the measure of each numbered angle. Again, I love these, so I want you to try this one on your own. So take a few minutes, try it on your own, and then come back and we'll do it together. So sometimes when you see things like this, it's hard to figure out where to start, but let's just start at angle number 1. So here's angle number 1 right here. Okay. There's nothing around it to help us know what it is. It doesn't have a vertical angle. It doesn't make a linear pair. I mean, it does with angle 2, but we don't know the measure of angle 2. But we can see that it is the exterior angle for this triangle. So in order to get 1, we can add up 32 and 38, and that's going to give us 70. So we're going to say this angle is 70. We know that from our exterior angles. So if this angle 1 is 70, then that means that angle 2 makes its linear pair. So it is 110 degrees. Okay. Now, what are we going to do next? Because angle 3 over here, we don't really have any information around it to help us. So we have a couple of different things we can do. So we know that if this is 70, then over here, this also has to be 70 because it's the vertical angle, or it also has to be 70 because it's the linear pair with 2. And so now we have that this angle is 70 and this one is 64. 70 and 64 make 134, and then 180 minus 134 is going to give us 46 degrees. So we're well on our way. Okay, so now that we have angle 3, now let's try to get angle 4. So we have a couple of different things that we can use to get angle 4. We can say that all 3 of these angles at the top are supplementary. So then we can add them up to get 180. We don't know 5, so we can't use that triangle. It's not an exterior angle, so I think